This is the LG Intermission Report.
Welcome back to Friday Night Hockey right here on Eastlink Community TV, and the Mooseheads up 1-0. Big move for them right now. I'm joined by Chris Pierce, strength and conditioning coach with the Halifax Mooseheads. And Chris, I love to talk to you because strength and conditioning, nutrition, those are some of the factors that really led to my career in being so long and being sustainable. So I want to get your thoughts. When you're looking at a player, whether it be their size or some of the younger guys when they're coming up from Major Midget, how do you allow them to build strength? What would that plan look like when one of the guys, maybe they don't have height to their favor and they want to get stronger? What would a plan look like for them?
Yeah, it's a little different for each player. You have to look at their strengths, look at their weaknesses. So a lot of it comes down to nutrition. A lot of the athletes, nutrition, sleep, those aspects are big. As far as getting into the weight room and so on, a lot of it depends on their mental maturity. A lot of it depends on their physical maturity. So some guys' bodies just aren't ready to grow, unfortunately, and they've got to kind of, you got to be a good mover. One of the things that I talk a lot about with some of the other strength coaches that I work with, NHL strength coaches that come down and check out our players. We talk a lot about the quality of movement, and if guys can attain that, then their bodies will eventually adjust and they will put on the size as their body's ready to. So unfortunately, part of it is your genetics, and you just have to kind of work with that, your hormones, where you're at in your development cycle. But saying that, obviously, if you're willing to put in the work, if you put in the effort every day, there's lots of things you can do to improve your stability, improve your power, and ultimately, become a better hockey player through those aspects.
And I think that's something that can be quite overlooked nowadays with strength and conditioning, starting at such a younger age now. A lot of athletes are overlooking the fundamentals and the core workout for maybe a few exercises, right? Like the fundamentals of that bench press are easily overlooked because guys just want to bench heavy and put on the weight and get in and get out and be efficient. But, when someone comes into the picture like you and can break that down, it's something that can easily get overlooked.
Yeah, you're right. Even at the major junior level, a lot of people probably think the workouts are, very fancy or whatever, but there's a lot of very basic components that the guys need. And each level you come down, they're obviously missing athletic components that are going to help them. So we try to look at each athlete, and the best that we can, we try to look at their situation and what we could possibly do to help adjust and fix up their situation, give them the best potential that they could possibly have. But biggest thing for me, a lot of guys are missing stability. If you start with your core, start with your glutes, start with some of those areas that really stabilize your body, a lot of guys miss those details, and they're, like you point out, they want to get into the heavy bench presses, they want to get into the heavy squats and so on, but there's a lot of other little details that they miss, and that leads to some of the problems, some of the injuries and so on that they face. So
fundamentals are key.
Fundamentals are the key.
And I think something as well that's becoming introduced with a lot of teams is slower moving and low impact exercises, something like yoga. And I know some of the guys have been doing that, so that's incorporated in these guys' routine.
We do. We actually do we have a mobility routine that we do almost every day just to keep their range of motion. One of the aspects I find that younger athletes don't realize is range of motion is not just ability to stretch, but to have strength in the range of motion. So we do a lot of work with like lighter weights or just different body positions to actually create strength in various ranges of motion. We do use a yoga instructor locally that comes in and provides yoga for the team. So mostly just to relax the guys. Jolene will come in and do some kind of relaxing yoga, let them ease their...
some savasana.
Yeah, exactly. Just to kind of ease up there. There's a lot of tension in their bodies, and just to let things relax a little bit so they can kind of get back to business, right?
And now as, this regular season's getting towards the end and these guys are fighting for playoffs, what's the focus in terms of maintenance in their routines?
So basically it becomes pretty basic. I mean, they're seeing a lot of reps on the ice. They've seen it all year. Their bodies start to get a little bit worn out. So just some basic strength. We try to get a basic strength workout once a week at least. If we can sneak in an extra one, we might do that if the schedule allows. And then, like I said, we're on the range of motion routine pretty much every day. We do a bit of an activation routine each day just to activate glutes, activate their core, make sure their shoulders are staying healthy, try to keep them on the ice, right? So
make sure everything's awake and running properly.
That's it.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining me, and we got the rest of the Mooseheads on to go here as the Quebec and Mooseheads take the ice here for the second period of action. Zach Jones put these guys up 1-0 here after the first 20 minutes.